let's talk about why. There really are different reasons for commanding the wealthy to pay more. I have 4 of them. Only one of them is decent. So, 3 reasons for taxing the wealthy more that are not good, one that might be decent. That feeling good because just a few rich guys are paying the majority of our social services. Well, I was taught to feel bad when just a few people are paying for you, that you're not paying your own way. So I think that's a misplaced feel good, and maybe it's more envy. Here's the second reason, redistribution. Now, redistribution is not going to grandly change how rich people affect their lives. So those levelers, Marxists, who like the idea of the rich coming down because of social policy from the government, they're not going to get very far with redistributing taxes. Remember, rich can leave. So if it changes dramatically, the very wealthy aren't going to let their estates get that redistributed. Who does it actually hurt? It actually breaks the middle class, who have less business in the area, who wants to do business in a state that forces redistribution, and who, when they have a certain percentage increase on their taxes, it hurts them the most. It gives them less ability to invest, less ability to pay for kids' college, less ability to get that second home. So the redistribution is almost certainly a backfire. Then the third reason, that by taxing just a few wealthy people, it's less pain to others, okay? Because there's just a few of them, and their 2% extra tax goes a lot further than the bottom 40% of people when you put 2% extra on them. Well, if it's pain to anyone, it is mean. It might even be evil to inflict it on anyone but yourself, okay? If some spending by the state is painful to finance, maybe we shouldn't be spending it in the first place. But if we are, it needs to be equal pain. And when not so well-off people say, tax the wealthy, then they are putting less pain on others. All right, so the fourth reason is maybe an acceptable one, that the rich have an ability to pay that is higher. Now, if you are being guided by the principle of ability to pay, that's wrong. If you're being guided by the reality that we can only get so much for a project, then you have a decent or half-decent argument. Once again, the project ought to be in question if the whole widespread populace doesn't have a good ability to pay. And don't start bonding future generations. That's what bonding does. That's truly evil, because then nobody now pays and you expect other people in the future to do it. So ask those who are and have the ability to pay whether they want those projects in the first place. Okay, if they come through in spades, maybe you have somewhat of a case. Now here's what girds the writers of this article. Inequality of condition. Inequality of condition, I'm not convinced, is a bad thing. Inequality of opportunity would be bad. We don't have that in America. Inequality of condition we do, in part because we have opportunity for people at any level who use their assertiveness, their smarts, their just plain work ethic to rise up. So inequality of condition, you don't want to take that away. If you did, you better not be watching this video on a high-speed computer, because some people don't have high-speed computers. We got to take that away. If you did, you would not want to have old people in the condition that they are, because old people are generally a lot wealthier than younger people. You would need to take away the ability for anyone to continue earning money. So somehow you have to make people stupider if they're smart and they're doing well in their work or they're entrepreneurial and doing well for other people. You know, you want to take away inequality of condition, you better take down healthy people, make them less healthy, because that is a condition. That is a condition that is unequal. Changing inequality by government force is evil. It gives you bad results, and I'll give you 4 right here. Albania. What have they contributed to the world's culture or economy in the last 100 years? Almost nothing, because of a regimen of communism that actually lasted well beyond the Soviet Union's fall. How about Indonesia? It's the 5th largest country population-wise in the world, but they're very poor. Now, they have equality, okay? Their conditions, there are not that many rich lording it over the poor. Almost everyone's poor. And with it, almost everyone there would rather be better off, even if there's some inequality exacerbated. How about Tanzania? I believe it's the most equal of countries in wealth distribution in all of Africa, maybe all of the world. And guess what they have? They're ravaged by AIDS. They have almost no business growth. Nobody wants to do business there. It is a backwater in an Africa that's otherwise growing because of receptiveness to outside investment, and yes, with it, some inequality. And how about that model of prosperity that tried to make things more equal by government force? That was the wealthiest country in South America up until about 15 years ago. Yes, Venezuela. And now people are leaving in droves. Inflation has exceeded 500,000%. We can't even imagine what 1,000% is, okay? In some months, they had annual 1,000,000% inflation in early 2019. It makes economic living futile. And 3% last year, 2% the year before have left the country. I'm surprised it isn't more than that. When you force equality on masses of people, you have unfair dislocations. I respect people's desire for equality of opportunity. I don't respect their forcing, using tax codes and other government policy, of people getting to an equal situation at the expense of other people. What have wealthy people done to hurt you? The politics of envy somewhat involves, I don't like the wealthy because they're wealthy, okay? Peacefully living around the corner in a much bigger house doesn't hurt you. If anything, wealthy people help. Wealthy people are the ones that employ other people. Poor people don't employ other people. Wealthy people do give contributions. Maybe not the same level of percentage level as a poorer person, but in terms of absolute value, absolute dollars, wealthy give far more. Give without being commanded. Don't condemn wealthy people for being wealthy. And please, don't try to undo success that brings on wealth at the expense of no success for everybody else. I'm Stewart Greenstein.